There is so much stuff that's coming at us. You know, it's very tempting to just, I can't. So many enormous things are being thrown at us so that we lose all perspective. Anyway, they are two of the tidbits, also enormous things that have stayed with me, and I want to make sure that, hopefully they stay with you as well. So one has to do with the Carter Center. You know, there's the Carter Presidential Library in Atlanta, Georgia, and then there's the Clinton Library in Arkansas, and there's the Kennedy Library in Massachusetts, and so forth. So the Carter Center, they have classes, they have conferences, and they have speakers, and that's very normal at those kinds of places. They had 3 talks that were scheduled. One was a talk about civil rights, one was a talk about climate change, and one was a talk about homelessness. Climate change, homelessness, and civil rights. They received a phone call from the National Archives that those talks were to be canceled, and that from here on out, any talks that they wanted to schedule had to get permission from the National Archives. So you can't afford, if you're a presidential library, to be cut off by the National Archives. The point is, the government should not be telling foundations, nonprofits, situations like that, who and who you can't have speak about civil rights, about homelessness, about climate change. And we talked about this recently. This is a cultural takeover. This is all part of it. This is, I'm sorry, this is what authoritarianism is. And this is why people are saying we're in the middle of the coup right now. My sense is, how freaking dare they? And yet they can. They have that power. This is the power of the government weaponized against the people. So the people at the Carter Center must be out of their minds about this. I haven't seen any statement. Perhaps there has been. But boy, once they start telling you what you can and cannot talk about, what writers you can and cannot listen to, they're already banning books. Now they're going to ban lectures. All right, the other one, you've probably been reading about this. And that's a bill that is actually up in Congress. It is so outrageous. It is saying that a married woman, okay, then my mother was Sophie Ann Kaplan until she was 21 years old, at which point she married my father and became Marianne Williamson. She lived into her 80s. So what did she have, 60 years of voting as Sophie Ann Williamson? They want to pass, some people in Congress, want to now pass a bill that would say she had to have legal proof of her maiden name, her name at birth. For a lot of people, it's like, okay, I have to go down to City Hall, and the kinds of states that would be into that would also be into making it harder for that woman. This is how voter suppression works. It's not always, no, you can't vote. It's just, it's going to be harder and harder and harder. And this is all part of this unbelievable misogynistic thing happening there, trying to diminish the rights of women in many, many cases. It's not just reproductive rights. Women obviously are getting very upset about this all over the country. Married women, you have to have legal proof. If I were married and I changed my name, all right, just take it in, be calm. Once again, something inside you, this will not stand.